Amen. Good afternoon, everyone.
Hey, Judge. Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Let's see.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. For the state all-purpose calendar, the reset date's going to be March 1st. Right. And so as soon as the jail is ready to go, we'll get started. All right, there we go. Courtroom 2, whenever you all are ready, let us know.
Good afternoon, Judge Morrow. Whenever you're ready, we have Ms. Day tomorrow. We don't have a calendar.
Okay, that's position number 3. It's for Mara Day. Good afternoon, Ms. Day. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Hi, good evening. Good afternoon, Judge. Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Day, you've been charged in case 22 CR 0007008 with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
20 total. History out of Wisconsin and Arizona. Last arrest was 2019 out of Arizona for retail theft. That's a felony. What else?
That wasn't me. I can explain that.
Ms. Day, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You're going to have an attorney representing you today, so let them speak for you, okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, I just don't want you to get yourself in any peril, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
2018 disorderly conduct noise that was dismissed. 2016 arrest for retail theft out of Wisconsin. 2012 retail theft conviction. 2011 retail theft conviction. 2008 retail theft, probation violation. 2007 retail theft conviction. There's a lot of theft. It's the first Georgia arrest, and a resident of Milwaukee.
Afternoon, Ms. Guidry.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
You can proceed.
Okay, Your Honor, the officers responded to Tyler Perry Studios, located at 315 Delshire Street, Southwest Atlanta. They spoke to the head of security, who stated that the defendant was told to check in at the front gate, but instead ran through the front gate. She was given verbal commands to stop but refused. She was seen on camera entering the White House building and entering one of the vehicles on the property. After being detained, when asked why she trespassed, the defendant stated that she wanted to meet Tyler Perry. Your Honor, we're asking that you maintain her bond. She has a $1,000 surety bond, that you order a stay away from Tyler Perry Studios, and there be no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. This is largely due to the defendant's criminal history, given that she is a flight risk for having arrests out of Mississippi as well, for numerous retail thefts, and out of Wisconsin as well, as pretrial has stated. So that's the reason for our asking for the maintaining of the bond.
Thank you. Ms. Gant?
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning. Good afternoon, Your Honor. Ms. Tamar Day is 45 years old. She is a resident of, she is from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. However, she has relocated to this area. She has 2 cousins here, one in Lithonia, She also has a daughter. She, again, is in the process of moving here. And that's her reason for being at the Tyler Perry Studios. She had a legitimate business purpose for being there. Therefore, she disputes the allegations, Your Honor. At this time, we are unopposed to the stay away at 315 Dexter Street, Southwest. Ms. Day is the proud mother of 3 children, ages 14, 16, and 21. She completed high school and she also has college credits in the area of physical therapy. She stopped attending college because her brother was killed at the time. She is disabled and has been so for the past 9 years. She has issues with balance and also back problems. She uses a cane and she does not have the ability to use that cane while in jail. So therefore she is a fall risk if she is unable to receive a bond that she's able to afford. I am requesting a signature bond on Ms. Day's behalf, and I acknowledge my client's history. However, she denies being the perpetrator in 2019, and her history, Your Honor, is more so centered around theft, and this current offense is not related to any violence or any property damage. Therefore, I am again asking for a signature bond, as she will not be able to pay anything more than a bond of $500. Thank you.
Ms. Day. I'm in courtroom 2, please. I'm going to let you out, but you can't go back over there to Tyler Perry Studios. You understand me?
I do understand, Your Honor.
Okay, so it's going to be $1,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from Tyler Perry Studios at 315 Dozier Street. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. I'm giving you the opportunity, Ms. Day, but you got to come back on your court date to answer for these charges, or you can't go back over there, okay?
Yes, sir, I won't.
All right, good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Who do we have next?
Position 14, Ms. Scott. Hello.
Good afternoon. This is position, on my calendar is position 14 is Ms. Scott. Good afternoon, Ms. Scott. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Ms. Scott, you've been charged in case 22 CR 000708C with battery, family violence, and criminal trespass and damage to property. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
First arrest.
Let's see. Good afternoon, Mr. Arnold.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Your Honor, this incident happened on January 25th, 2022 at 219 St. Andrews Court in Johns Creek. The defendant broke through Miss Imani Howell's bedroom door. Imani spelled I-M-A-N-I. Howell spelled H-O-W-E-L-L. He broke into the door over an argument about infidelity. The defendant grabbed Ms. Howell by the neck and tried to pull her do-rag off. During the struggle, the defendant also scratched Ms. Howell on her neck and broke the skin. Your Honor, the state is asking for a $3,000 surety bond for count 1 for battery, family violence, and a $1,500 surety bond for count 2 for the criminal damage to property. We are for a total of a $4,500 surety bond. We are also asking that there be no further contact with Imani Howell, a stay away from 219 St. Andrews Court in Johns Creek, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons, and a 1-day anger awareness.
Have you spoken, or anyone in your office spoken with Ms. Howell?
Yes, it said that our victim's advocate was able to reach out and said that the victim said that they are currently in a relationship and live together, and that she does not fear the defendant. However, we are concerned about her safety, so we would still request the stay away, Your Honor.
Your Honor, actually, she is, they are no longer in the relationship anymore. And also, Imani Howell is not in 219 St. Andrews where they live together. She moved to Alpharetta, according to Ms. Scott.
Okay.
Yes, I would like to address about Miss Scott. I strongly recommend for a signature bond because this is first offense. She's 29 years old and she lives in 219 St. Andrews. That's her primary residency. And right now she has been here in Georgia 1.5 years. She has been working here. She has her online business and online college courses that she's taking. And she has actually 3 interviews lined up for this coming month. So it will be great to get out of the jail as fast as I can so she can pursue her career. And so at this point, there's not much saving for this kind of event. So I mean, incident. So we would like to request for signature bond, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Is Ms. Howell on the line?
Yes, may I speak, Your Honor?
Yes. Good afternoon, Ms. Howell. I need for you to raise your right hand if you'd like to address the court.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I swear.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, ma'am. What would you like to tell the court?
I just want to say that Corinne Scott, she's not a danger. In 219 St. Andrews, there's 3 bedrooms here where it's an ample enough space for, everything to cool down, not to, collide with one another. I don't fear for my safety or anything like that. And I would ask for a signature bond as well, if it's okay with you. But, I'm asking for that.
Okay, so this has never happened before?
We don't go through this, sir. Usually,
Okay.
we walk it off, listen to music, have a little space, and it dies down. This is really unfortunate. And, it was how the police were even called, was just because the neighbors heard a little bit of yelling or whatever. Not even violence. So, like, why the police had to come when she was arrested, She is not a bad person at all, Your Honor. And yeah, once again, I don't fear for my safety at all, sir.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that, Ms. Howell.
Thank you.
It's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial for the battery, $1,000 signature bond through pretrial for the criminal damage, which makes it a total of a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness class, no further violent contact with Imani Howell, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. All right, Ms. Scott, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You also, Ms. Howell.
Good
Thank you.
afternoon. Good afternoon, Your Honor. This is South Annex. I have Ms. Riddle before you, and she is position number 13.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Ms. Riddle. I'm Judge Eric Maurer. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Can you hear me, Ms. Riddle?
Oh, now I can. Yes, sorry. I didn't hear.
So we're conducting this by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Riddle, you've been charged in case 22 CR 000707C with possession of an open alcohol container, failure to obey signs or control devices, and driving under the influence of alcohol less safe. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
At first arrest.
Ms. Arnold?
Yes, Your Honor. So this incident happened on February 12th, 2022 at the Holcomb Bridge Road and Fouts Road in Roswell. When officers arrived on scene, they found the defendant asleep at the wheel with an open Michelob Ultra in the cup holder, and the vehicle was still on and in drive at that time. After knocking several times, officers were able to wake the defendant, and they asked her to roll down her window, but she was unable to find the switch. So instead, they asked her to open her door, which she was able to do. And she went ahead and turned off the vehicle and turned over the keys to officers. The defendant was unable to provide a clear answer about where she was going and was unable to locate her ID. The defendant, her walk was very unsteady as she was walking to the curb, and she refused consent to the field evaluation test as well as the breath sample. And after that, the defendant was arrested. excuse me, Your Honor. The current bond is set at a $2,500 surety for count 1 for possession of an open alcohol container, a $2,500 surety for count 2 for failure to obey signs or control devices, and a $2,500 surety for count 3 for the DUI alcohol, for a total of $7,500 surety bond. The state is asking that the bond remain and that there be no drugs, alcohol, or weapons, and no driving, Your Honor.
Your Honor, Miss Riddle is 52 years old, and she has lived here in Georgia 25 years, and she had no trouble before. This is her first incident, and she has 3 daughters. She's working at a data integration, and she has high school degree and college degree, and she's a good candidate for unsecured judicial release. So we would like to request for a signature bond, Your Honor.
For the open container, $500 good bond. For the value traffic control, $500 good bond. And for the DUI, $1,000 good bond, makes it a total of a $2,000 good bond. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Riddle.
Your Honor, may I please do position number 8?
Okay,
Okay, that's what, 500, 500, and 1,000?
that's correct.
Okay, have it to that explain. Come on, Miss Lay, Miss Lay, come on, quickly. Position number 8, Miss Lay, Your Honor, and thank you again.
That's fine. Good afternoon, Ms. Lay. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Lay, you've been charged in case 22 CR 000706Y with battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
The 4th arrest. Last arrest was 2007. Theft by taking and obstruction. Simple battery. I don't have a disposition for it. Before that was another 07 arrest. Possession of alcohol below legal age. 2006 obstruction, disorderly conduct arrest. That's it.
Ms. Guidry?
Yes, Your Honor. So in this case, officers responded to 320 Thomasville Boulevard, Southeast Atlanta. This is the defendant's address. The defendant stated that she allowed Ms. Jerica, that's Jerrica, Varner, and her children to live with her. She stated that she wanted her to leave because Ms. Varner had been drinking all day and was asleep in the living room. Ms. Lay and her brother started an argument with Ms. Varner, and the defendant, along with her brother, began to hit Ms. Varner several times in the face, causing her to get a busted lip. And she also received several cuts to her lip. Officers also observed dry blood on her clothing. We're asking for a $2,500 surety bond, no further contact with Jerica Varner, 1-day anger awareness, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Your Honor, we do understand that the defendant has no convictions, but this is largely due to the offense. So that's why we're asking for the recommendation.
Where is Ms. Varner now?
Your Honor, we tried to contact the victim. However, we did not receive an answer and we left a message.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Who's representing Ms. Lay?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This is Attorney Olaloye. How are you?
Good afternoon. How are you today? I'm fine.
Very well, thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor, if I may. Ms. Lay is 33 years old. She currently has 7 kids, Your Honor, and I would like to note that she is the primary caretaker for all of her children. She is working. She does work as a custodian in the juvenile court. Your Honor, I would also note that although she may have some history of arrest, she has no violent history. At least there was no conviction as far as the court is aware, Your Honor. So I would like the court to take that into consideration. The defendant does live at that home, Your Honor. So I'm not sure if the state asked that she not return, but if that situation, Your Honor, we would ask that she is allowed to go back to her home. It's my understanding from speaking with Ms. Lay that the victim in this matter does not permanently live there. I think they allowed her to stay there temporarily. And from my brief conversation with Ms. Lay, it was my understanding that her and another individual in the home got into an argument. Things essentially escalated, and that's where the victim, Ms. Varner, then threatened to essentially jump Ms. Lay. Again, things got aggressive between the parties involved, but this was a situation where we believe that it was Ms. Varner who ultimately was the aggressor in this matter, and it was Ms. Varner who essentially started the entire incident. Your Honor, I will be asking for a signature bond, given that she does have 7 kids that she does take care of. She does not have any violent convictions as far as we are aware. I do not believe she is a threat to flee, given that she does have responsibilities here to take care of, Your Honor. We would ask that the court impose a no violent contact. If the court's not inclined to do that, then the state will submit on a no contact at all. But I think more importantly, we would ask that Ms. Lay allowed to go back to her home and that she be allowed to post a signature bond. Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Varner, is Ms. Varner at that home now? Do you know?
It's my understanding that she's not, Your Honor, but I
Okay.
can't speak for sure.
Okay. Well, if she's there, then somebody's going to have to make other arrangements. I am going to give her signature bond, a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness class, no further contact with Ms. Varner, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. So since there's no contact with Ms. Varner, if Ms. Varner is at that home, then obviously Ms. Lay can't be there.
And Your Honor, if that is the situation and the court is not inclined to change just that specific part, could you order that if Ms. Lay ultimately does have to leave, that she be allowed a one-time escort to gather whatever belongings she might need for that time, if that's the case?
Yes, of course. If she has to, she can have a one-time escort with a police officer to retrieve any belongings.
Thank you.
All right? All right, good luck to you, Ms. Lay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, we're done at the South Annex?
Yes, sir. Thank
All
you.
right, have a good rest of the day. Thank you. Who do we have in courtroom 2?
Position 5, Mr. Hines. And also we have his wife would like to say something to the courts as well.
Okay, thank you. This is position 5, Marvin Hines. Good afternoon, Mr. Hines. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 000701E with battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
28 total between Georgia and Florida. I'll give you the Georgia history first. Last arrest was March 2021, giving false name. 2019 probation violation conviction. Came off a DUI conviction. Sell of marijuana conviction from, that was from 1997. Last arrest in Florida. Was a possession of cannabis conviction from 2011. 2009 contempt of court. Possession of a controlled substance from 2008. I don't see any violence in at least within the last 14 years.
All right, thank you, Mr. Howard. Ms. Deidre?
Yes, Your Honor. So yesterday, officers responded to 416 Taser Street, Northwest Atlanta. They spoke with Barbara Jones, who is the wife of the defendant. She stated that they got into an argument because the defendant was arguing with her daughter. Ms. Jones stated that she went to the couch where the defendant followed her and tried to provoke her to fight. He then stuck his finger in her face, leaving small scratches to the lower left eye and the upper left lip. Your Honor, we're asking for a $3,000 surety bond, a stay away from the incident location, no further contact with Barbara Jones, 1-day anger awareness, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. We weren't able to speak with Ms. Jones. However, they did say that she would like to speak. The reasoning for us asking for the bond is due to the defendant's criminal history and the nature of this crime, Your Honor. So that's why we're asking for the stated recommendation.
Thank you, Ms. Deidre. Mr. O'Leary.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, Mr. Hines is 46 years old. He also has 7 kids that he does support when he can. I would like to note that Mr. Hines is disabled and he does get a disability check once a month, Your Honor. So that would be in line of me asking for a signature bond, Your Honor. It's my understanding that Mr. Hines is the individual who has, his name is primarily on the lease, Your Honor. He's the one that does pay most of the bills. It's my understanding that they do sometimes split, but Mr. Hines is solely responsible for paying the bills in that home. The home is in his name, Your Honor. We heard from pretrial, he does not have any violent history, or at least nothing recent. It's mainly drug convictions. From my brief conversation with Mr. Hines, this is a situation where his wife and the daughter essentially got into an argument. Things escalated between them. It's my understanding that that's where the scratch came from, was the incident between the Ms. Jones and the daughter, Your Honor. My client does maintain his innocence in this matter. Again, we would be asking if he does qualify for a signature bond. Again, he does not have a job. He is disabled. He is getting a one-time check, a one-time disability check per month. If he's not qualified for a signature bond and the court ultimately has to issue a surety bond, we will be asking for a very, very nominal amount, given that I do not believe he will be able to post a high bond, given that he does not work. And again, because he does live there, he is the name is in his name. I would be asking that he be allowed to go back to the home. Obviously, if the court's not inclined to grant that, I would ask again for a one-time escort. I do believe there is no ongoing issues between the two. Based on what Ms. Jones ultimately says, we would be asking for a no violent contact as opposed to a no contact. But again, I understand that's up to the court's discretion. And if the court ultimately decides that they want to do a no contact, we would submit on that. But my biggest concern is that we ask for signature bond and that Mr. Hines do be allowed to go back to the home, given his situation, his mobility. We're not exactly sure how that would be. So I think it would be more of a burden if he had to pack his belongings and go to another home, Your Honor. So I would be asking for those. Thank you.
Where's Ms. Jones?
She's right here, Judge.
Thank you. Ms. Jones, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you're gonna have to speak up for me, ma'am, okay?
Yes.
Okay, I can hear you. Put your hand down. What would you like to tell the court?
Verbatim of what the guy here said. He is he pays the bills in the home. Right now, we don't have, the funds. I don't fear anything for my life. He could come home. I mean, it just was a misunderstanding, sitting by,
This hasn't happened before?
No.
And you're not afraid of it?
It was just misunderstanding, words, misunderstanding, and that's about all. Just a misunderstanding. Like I said, I'm not in fear for my life, and it's okay. You don't have to go anywhere. We can.
Okay. All right, thank you, Ms. Jones. It's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through the jail. No further violent contact with Barbara Jones. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Hines.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next, we have position 20. How do you pronounce your name? Mr. Udi.
Good afternoon. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 000717D with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
First.
Ms. Arnold?
Yes, Your Honor. And I had put in the chat, we need a breakout session for this case.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let's see. Mr. Jordan, can you put Ms. Kim, myself, Ms. Arnold, Mr. Howard, and Mr. Hopkins in a breakout room with me?
That would be the elder house.
Yes.
You know, it's a good thing you said that. I was just about to put you in that breakout room.
I know I always have to look out for Garrett.
All right, we've had a discussion on Mr. Jack Uday. The bond's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial. He's going to have a co-signer since he's a minor. So it's either going to be Aaron Uday or Bridget Uday, who's going to have to co-sign to get him out. 1-day anger awareness class. No further violent contact with Aaron Uday. He's going to have to stay in school, and there's going to be a curfew imposed of 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. All right. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Spell the dad's name?
UHDE, Aaron.
Yeah, is that your father you have the same last name, sir?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
What's the mother's name?
Bridget.
Bridget. So either or cosign, right?
Either or. I think his dad's there, so.
Yes, he's here.
Okay.
He gonna need to go sign him out at the trailer, Judge.
Say it again, Mr. Howard.
I'll call the courtroom and tell him what to do with the dad.
All right.
Are you gonna do a utility bill waiver?
Yes.
All right. Y'all just tell the dad to sit tight.
Okay.
Next,
Who do we-
position 1, Mr. Ballard.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ballard. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir, I do.
Thank you. Mr. Ballard, you've been charged in case 22 CR 0000699D with battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
The second. Last arrest was May 2021. Suspended registration, suspended license. Out of Gwinnett. That's it.
Skeedry?
Yes, Your Honor. Officers arrived at 3151 Harris Drive, apartment 2 in Atlanta on February 11th. They spoke to Brenton Ballard, who's the brother of the defendant. He's 17 years of age. He stated that the defendant and he got into an argument about loud noise. The defendant got upset and punched Mr. Brenton in the mouth, causing an injury to his upper lip. The defendant stated that after Brenton came into the home, they began to argue and that Brenton stepped close to him. So as he states, he reacted. I hit him one time, as you can see. Your Honor, we're asking for a $2,000 surety bond, a stay away from the incident location. No further contact with Brenton Ballard, 1-day anger awareness, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. This is largely due to the defendant hitting his younger brother, Your Honor, over an argument over loud music. So we're concerned for the victim's safety and we have not talked to him. So we are asking for the stated recommendations.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Khalik Ballard is 21 years old. He is a long-term Atlanta resident. He has family here, including his mother, who is on the line, Ms. Felicia Ballard. Your Honor, we are opposed to the stay away at 31512 Harris Drive. I've spoken to Ms. Ballard, and she informed me prior to my contacting Brenton Ballard that he wishes to maintain contact. Later in the morning, Your Honor, Mr. Brenton Ballard also called me as well to confirm that he wants to continue having contact with his brother. Your Honor, Mr. Ballard has completed high school. He is currently employed at Kennel Tech and has been so for the past year. He just interviewed for a position as a vet tech, and he's hoping to hear something soon. So he's anxious to be released so that he can start that new job. Your Honor, Mr. Ballard disputes the allegations. He denies being the primary aggressor, and given his lack of any violent convictions and that this is his second arrest, the first arrest, of course, is for something related to driving offense. I am requesting a signature bond, Your Honor. And again, we are opposed to the stay away and would ask that Your Honor implement a no violent contact order. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Ballard, if you'd like to address the court, I'll need for you to unmute yourself, and I'm going to have to swear you in.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you, Ms. Ballard. What would you like to tell the court?
My son, he's not violent. It was just a brother rivalry going on about basically nothing. And the police were called. He's not a violent person. I would like him just to have the signature bond as well.
Okay, is this your address, this Harris Drive address? Is that your address?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
That's fine. And those, your sons live with you at that address?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And this hadn't happened before?
They have gotten to arguing, but it normally blows over. It's just an argument between brothers.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Ms. Ballard. It's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial, a 1-day anger awareness class, no further violent contact with Britton Ballard, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Ballard.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. You also, Ms. Ballard.
Next, we have position 2, Mr. Bomade.
Your Honor, this is a cross-defending case as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cross-defendant with which one?
Mr Mincy.
You know what position that is?
He's position 10.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we are conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Okay.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 000720F with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Number 2, first arrest.
Ms. Guidry?
Yes, Your Honor. Officers responded to the location of 175 Piedmont Avenue, which is Piedmont North Resident Hall, located at Georgia State. They spoke with the defendant, who stated that he and Shamar Mincy were playing the game when they began to argue, and the argument turned into a pushing match. Mr. Mincy pushed Mr. I'm going to say his first name, Zakaria, into the television, causing damage to his own TV. He then states that the next day, Mr. Mincy returned, came into the room, grabbed Mr. Zakari's laptop, threw it to the ground, causing damage to the laptop, then punched Mr. Zakari in the face numerous times. Mr. Zakari sustained a bruise to his forehead, and his right eye was swollen. They then spoke to Mr. Mincy, who agreed that a pushing match ensued, and then he left. He returned the next day and saw that his television was damaged from the day before. He stated that he grabbed Mr. Zakari's laptop and slammed it to the ground and punched Mr. Zakari in the face. Mr. Mincy sustained no injuries. Your Honor, we do understand that this is his first arrest, and that from our understanding, he was not the primary aggressor. So we're asking for a $2,000 signature bond, no further contact with Shamar Mincy, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons.
Ms. Gant?
All right, Your Honor, the defense consents to the signature bond, the conditions.
So they live in a dorm together? They don't live together though, right?
They are dorm mates. However, Mr. Bumati has been assigned to another room.
Okay. And they are students at Georgia State?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. It's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness. No further contact with Mr. Mincy. No drugs, no alcohol or weapons while out on bond.
No.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
All right, thank you, sir.
Next, we have position 10, Mr. Mincy.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mincy. Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
You've been charged in case 22 CR 000715H with battery, family violence, and criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
First arrest.
All right. Is there anything, Ms. Guidry, different on this this case than what you told me on Mr. Bumati's case?
Your Honor, the facts are the same. However, we're asking for a $3,000 surety bond total, $2,000 for the battery and $1,000 for the criminal trespass. No further contact with Mr. Bumati. 1 day anger awareness, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. This is largely due to the defendant coming back the next day and insinuating a fight with the victim, Mr. Zakari. So we are very concerned for his safety. So that's why we're asking for that recommendation.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, Mr. Mintz is 19 years old. He is also a student at Georgia State University. He's been working at Mr.'s Car Wash for about 7 months now. Obviously, the state has already indicated that both individuals were dorm mates. From my brief conversation with Mr. Mintz, essentially this was a situation where both my client and the victim in this matter, the alleged victim, Your Honor, they were playing video games. They were trash talking. Things just got heated between both parties. It's my understanding that it was actually Mr. Zakaria who was the aggressor towards my client, Mr. Mintz. Things obviously escalated from that, and then Mr. Mintz just got the better of the fight, essentially, Your Honor. But it's my understanding again that this was a situation where Mr. Zakaria was the aggressor, and it all started from trash talking. Both parties were playing video games. My client has no arrest, Your Honor. I do not believe this is a situation where he's a danger to the victim, danger to the society, Your Honor. He has no violent history. He's 19 years old. He does have a job that he's been doing for about 7 months. I would ask that he be allowed to go back, given that Mr. Zakaria has already been assigned to a new room. I would be asking for a signature bond on this matter, given, again, we do believe this is a situation that started just from, both parties just getting into an argument, and my client not being the aggressor, and the facts, Your Honor, I do not believe the facts in this matter calls for a surety bond. So I would be asking that the court impose a signature bond on this matter. I do not believe there'll be any issue of them contacting or any violent contact. So we would submit on whatever recommendation the court decides to impose in regards to any contact or any violent contact between both parties. If for some reason the court is not inclined to allow Mr. Mintz back to his dorm, we would be asking again for a one-time escort so we can retrieve whatever belongings he needs, Your Honor. Thank you.
I'm not going to keep him from his dorm room. These young men are getting their educations. That's what I think is most important. This doesn't make any sense, these allegations over a video game and, and these young men sitting here in custody over something like that. I mean, for these two young men to be getting an education, I'm just, dumbfounded that they're sitting here like this over an alleged video game. I'm not going to do anything different than what I did for Mr. Bumati. It's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial, $2,000 for the battery family violence, $1,000 for the criminal trespass, a 1-day anger awareness class, no further contact with Mr. Bumati, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
Good luck to you, Mr. Mincy.
Next, we have position 11, Mr. Permenter.
I'm sorry, tell me again.
Position 11, Mr. Permenter.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Permenter. You've been charged in case 22 CR 000703E with giving false information to a law enforcement officer, 2 counts. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
It's his first adult arrest.
Okay, that's fine. Ms. Arnold?
Yes, Your Honor. Here, this incident happened on February 12th, 2022, on the Spelman College campus at Henry Street, gate 402. The defendant was seen by Officer Smith approaching the 402 gate in a black Nissan Altima at a very high speed and jumping the curb to pass a barricade. The defendant then exited the vehicle and began to run. While Officer Smith was trying to figure out what was going on, he was approached by the Clark Atlanta officer Mosley, who advised that he had observed the same Nissan speed past him and activated his emergency lights, which the defendant ignored, and had jumped a speed bump earlier, and had continued on towards Henry Street. While the officers were speaking, the defendant walked up and advised that he was the one driving the vehicle and that he was looking for his 9-year-old brother. When Officer Smith asked the defendant to sit on the curb, he asked him for his name and date of birth, to which the defendant replied, Javon Johnson, with his date of birth being September 20th, 1999. After officers spoke with the defendant and said that his story was suspicious, the defendant admitted that it was a lie and said, and changed his story to being that he was driving for Uber and Lyft, and that when he saw Officer Mosley's lights, he panicked and fled. The defendant then provided officers with a Georgia learner's permit belonging to a Jalen Rideout, date of birth August 29, 2001. When asked about his true identity, the defendant became argumentative, and Officer Smith decided to detain him until they could figure out who he was. At that point, the defendant admitted that his name was Daniel Permenter and his date of birth was September 20th, 2004. Your Honor, as pre-trial has stated, this is his first adult arrest here in Georgia, but he does have a history out of Florida, a juvenile history out of Florida, and December 2019 FTA, Your Honor. So we do believe that the defendant is a flight risk. So for these reasons, Your Honor, we are asking that the current bond is set for count 1 for giving false information to a law enforcement officer, a $500 surety bond. We would ask that that bond remain on count 1. And we're also asking that there be a $500 surety bond for count 2 for giving false information to a law enforcement officer, for a total of a $1,000 surety. We're asking that there be no drugs, alcohol, or weapons, a stay away from the Spelman College campus at Henry Street, gate 402. Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Daniel Permenter is 17 years old. He is originally from North Carolina, but relocated to this area for employment. He has community ties here, including an uncle, Matthew St. John. He completed the 11th grade. He plans to attend college one day in the near future. Your Honor, he is employed at Uber Eats. He has been working there for 2 days, so he needs to get back to work. He disputes the allegations and he is unable to pay any bond. And given his lack of adult history, Your Honor, I would request a signature bond on both counts. And I have been in contact with his parents and they are prepared to do what needs to be done to get him released, Your Honor. Thank you.
He's living with his parents?
No, he is living with an uncle.
Okay. And he wasn't charged with anything else, Ms. Arnold? No traffic charges stemming from this?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, so it's going to be a $1,000 signature bond through the jail on each count. So a $2,000 signature bond through the jail, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. I'm going to let you out, Mr. Permiter, but you're going to have to make sure to come back and answer for these charges on your court date. And if you don't, then they're going to put a warrant out for you. You understand me?
I understand, Your Honor.
All right.
Thanks.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Next,
Also, there's going to be a stay away from the Spelman College. You can't go back over to Spelman.
James Kelly. Position 7. James Kelly.
Good afternoon, Mr. Kelly. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Thank you. Mr. Kelly, you've been charged in case 22 CR 000705G with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
17 total. Last arrest was back in January in Alabama. Failed to appear. July 2021, failure to appear. May 2021, damage to property. 2019, it was a traffic offense. I'm sorry, no, 2019, criminal trespass and a traffic offense. That was a conviction. 2018, criminal trespass. 2017, disorderly conduct, shoplifting, possession of marijuana. 2017, possession of marijuana, shoplifting, disorderly conduct, conviction. 2016, trespass. 2016, shoplifting. 2014, disorderly conduct, conviction. I think I saw a hold. Hold on real quick. Yeah, you got a hold out of the cab county. That was the Alabama history, Judge. September 2021, DeKalb County sent for battery arrest. 2013, probation violation for shoplifting. 2009, shoplifting. And it says he's homeless.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Diedrich?
Yes, Your Honor. Officers responded to 692 Darlington Circle, Northeast Atlanta yesterday. The defendant was found trespassing on the front lawn of Mr. Stephen, last name Pracht, after being given a criminal trespass warning on December 16, 2021. We're asking for a $4,000 surety bond, a stay away from the incident location, no further contact with Stephen Pracht, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. This is largely due to the defendant's criminal history out of Alabama and Georgia, Your Honor. As pretrial stated, he was recently arrested in Alabama on January 8th of this year. He also had a failure to appear from 2022 this year out of Alabama, and a recent one out of 2021 as well from Alabama. He has an open case, as pretrial has stated, from Alabama, a warrant out of Decatur, and an open case for simple battery out of Decatur, Your Honor. So he is a flight risk. We did speak to Mr. Stephen, who is on the line. He stated that the defendant dated his son, but however, they are no longer in a relationship. He does not want any contact with the defendant and does not want him on his property, Your Honor. So we don't understand why he continues to go there. So we are concerned for his safety. And again, he is a flight risk, so that's why we're asking for the recommendation.
Ms. Gant?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. James Kelly is 33 years old. He is a long-term Atlanta resident. Your Honor, we are unopposed to the stay away at 692 Darlington Circle. Mr. Kelly completed the 10th grade, and at this time he is disabled and has been so since age 19. He is disabled for many conditions. The most important, of course, is acute renal failure. He undergoes dialysis on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Therefore, he missed his dialysis treatment today. And he also states that he has not been able to get his medications that are required to prevent seizures. Your Honor, he does not have the means to pay any bond at this time, Your Honor. Regarding the allegations, he disputes the allegations. He states that he was invited to that location at 692 Darlington to meet with his partner. Your Honor, I am requesting a signature bond through the jail so that Mr. Kelly can be released to the hold, and also to deal with his exigent medical conditions. And Your Honor, again, we are unopposed to the stay away, and we are also unopposed to the no further contact with Mr. Stephen Pracht. Thank you.
If Mr. Pratt is on the line and wants to speak, now would be the time to do that. You're not required to do that, sir, but if you would, you'd have to unmute yourself, activate your camera, and I'll have to swear you in.
Thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate this opportunity.
Mr.
Kelly, I'm sorry, yes.
Yes. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Yes, sir.
Thank you. So, Mr. Kelly was not invited to our property yesterday. In fact, when he was outside our property and behaving in a very erratic manner, we called 911 based on the December incident in which we had to call police to have him escorted from our property. And that's when the warning was given for criminal trespass. I repeatedly requested Mr. Kelly or warned him not to come onto our property because of the prior warning. He refused to adhere to my request. And in fact, when the police did arrive He was standing in the middle of our yard and would refuse to leave the property as requested. And so that's why I decided to press charges. There is a history of a relationship between Mr. Kelly and my son that spans a few years now. And they have alternately, my son has either been living with us, and on 2 occasions, Mr. Kelly was our guest. At one time in December of 20, we had to ask Mr. Kelly to leave our home because he was beginning to act in an aggressive manner. And I was concerned about our welfare with having him in our home. We had them back a second time, and they were to go to Montgomery, Alabama to live in a sober living facility. Arrangements had been made, but they never did enter that sober living facility. And days later, my son was calling us requesting that we get him, because there has been a history of violence between mainly toward my son by Mr. Kelly. But we did bring my son back. Mr. Kelly came back to Atlanta not too long ago. And so, we have been dealing with this for an extended period of time. I also have received lewd emails and text messages with photos of
relevance.
Okay, well, I'm just talking about no contact and the fact that this person has been able to get my phone numbers and send information to me that I did not request. That quite honestly is very disturbing. So at any rate, we are concerned about having this person near our home based on his prior behavior.
Thank you, sir. Anything further, Ms. Guidry, Ms. Gant?
Your Honor, again, I would just ask that you consider what's before you, a criminal trespass. There was no allegation of any violence whatsoever. And again, my client stands by his position that he was invited there by Mr. Proc's son. Thank you.
Again, Your Honor, just to reiterate, he was already given a criminal trespass warning on the 16th, so he knew he was not to be at that address. And again, given his criminal history, he is a flight risk, so we are concerned for the victim's safety mainly in this case, but he is a flight risk.
Okay. Can you unmute courtroom 2, please?
Mr.
Kelly.
Yes, sir.
I do not advise you to speak.
Ms. Gant, I'm not going to ask him to speak. I'm going to speak to him, okay? That's why I want him to speak, okay? Mr. Kelly, I am going to release you to that hold. But I'm only going to release, it's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. You're to have no further contact with Stephen Pratch, and you're to not go back to that 692 Darlington Circle address. No contact means no contact whatsoever. It means no Twitter contact, no email contact, no phone contact, no personal contact. Do you understand that? No contact whatsoever.
Yes, sir.
All right. If you do contact Mr. Pratch, you will be in violation of this bond, and it's going to be revoked, and you're going to be right back where you are. You understand?
Yes, sir. And that is Stephen Pratt, correct?
That is Stephen Pratch, yes.
Correct. Thank you.
No drugs, no alcohol or weapons while out on bond.
Yes, sir.
All right. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Your Honor, if I could say one thing very briefly. It's concerning that he's asking for the name of the testifying witness. That would include any family members of the victims.
It's my understanding that from the testimony that I heard from Mr. Pratch that this is Mr. Pratch's home, that he's been in contact with Mr. Pratch, and that he has some another type of relationship with Mr. Pratch's son. That is up to those 2 individuals. All right, anything further?
No, Your Honor.
All right, who do we have next? Thanks.
9, Mr. Miller.
Good afternoon, Mr. Miller. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
I agree.
Thank you. Mr. Miller, you've been charged in case 22 CR 000709F with fare evasion, giving false name, address, or birth date to law enforcement officer. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
13 total. He has history out of Missouri and Kansas. I'm gonna start with Kansas first. Hold on. Last arrest was back in November, criminal damage to property. February of 2021, possession of drug paraphernalia. 2018, possession of drug paraphernalia. 2018, failure to appear. 2016, failure to appear. 2015, failure to appear. Another 2015, failure to appear. 2013, FTA. 2010, I think it's driving while license suspended. All right, that's Kansas. Last arrest in Missouri, got a 2015 assault third-degree conviction. And that's it. That's the first Georgia arrest, resident of Kansas City, Kansas.
Yes, Your Honor. On February 11th, officers observed the defendant enter the East Point MARTA station by forcefully pushing through the fare gate without paying the required $2.50. Upon taking him into custody, the defendant provided a Georgia identification card bearing the name of Melvin Johnson Jr. The defendant assured officers that he was Melvin Johnson. During the search of his person, the defendant made a spontaneous utterance stating that he was not Melvin Johnson. Officers then found a Kansas identification card belonging to the defendant with his name upon it. Your Honor, we're asking for a $4,000 surety bond, $2,000 on each count, a stay away from the East Point MARTA, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. This is largely due to his criminal history, having 5 failure to appears in the past out of Kansas City, an open charge out of Kansas City for criminal damage to property, and history out of Missouri as well. So we're concerned that he is a flight risk. So that's why we're asking for the stated recommendation.
Yeah.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Jeremy Miller is 35 years old. He, of course, is from Kansas City. He has been in the Atlanta area for a while. He moved here for a new start. He has friends here. Your Honor, we are opposed to the stay away at 2898 Main Street. Mr. Miller states that he does not have any alternate transportation. He has completed high school and he is currently applying for Social Security disability, and as he has been unable to work due to issues with his back. Your Honor, he is unable to pay any bond at this time, and given the nature of the allegations which he disputes, Your Honor, I'm requesting a signature bond on Mr. Miller's behalf. Thank you.
Does MARTA have a stay away in place?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, so on the fare evasion, $500 signature bond through the jail. On the false name, a $500 signature bond through the jail. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Mr. Miller, I'm going to give you the opportunity to get out, but you're going to have to make sure to come back to court. If you don't come back, they're going to put a warrant out for you, okay? Then you're going to be right back where you are. You understand what I'm saying?
I understand, sir.
All right, and I understand that you take MARTA. If MARTA doesn't have a stay away against you, I'm not going to keep you from MARTA, but if there is any type of MARTA suspension, you're going to have to abide by that.
I'll just have the Salvation Army or maybe someone help give me a pass or something like that.
All right, good luck to you. Good luck to you, Mr. Miller.
I appreciate it.
Next, we have position 12, Mr. Powell.
I'm sorry, who is this?
Position 12.
Well,
Powell.
okay. Powell, thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Powell. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. You agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Powell, you've been charged in case 22 CR 000704Y with an improper turn and driving under the influence of alcohol less safe. Is there a history?
First arrest.
Ms. Arnold?
Yes, Your Honor.
So this incident happened yesterday at Jones Bridge Road and Addison Way in Johns Creek. Officer Bacon observed the defendant make an improper right turn from Addison Way onto Jones Bridge Road. When the officer stopped the defendant, he smelled the odor of alcohol on him, and the defendant admitted to taking a shot of tequila an hour prior to driving. And during the field sobriety test, the defendant showed multiple signs of impairment. And after that, the defendant was arrested. Your Honor, there is a current bond of $265 for count 1 for the improper turn. We would ask that that remain. And then for count 2, we are asking for a $3,000 surety for a total of a $3,265 surety bond, and that there be no drugs, alcohol, or weapons, and no driving. Thank you.
Scan.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. John Powell is 24 years old. He was originally born in Charleston, West Virginia. However, he has been in Atlanta since 2016. He has family here, including his parents and his siblings. He completed high school, and at this time, Your Honor, he is employed at Firebird Steakhouse. He has been a server there for the past 5 years. Your Honor, in light of Mr. Powell's negative history for any DUIs or traffic offenses, I am requesting a signature bond on his behalf. And Your Honor, we are opposed to the no driving condition. Mr. Powell has a legitimate need to drive to get back and forth to work. And if Your Honor determines that he is ineligible for a signature bond, then Your Honor, I'm requesting a bond of no more than $1,000, and that would be $200 for the improper turn and $800 for DUI less safe. Thank you.
Okay, so for the improper turn, it's gonna leave it at the 265 good. For the less safe DUI, $1,000 goods, it makes it a $1,265 good bond. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Powell.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next is position 17, Taylor.
Good afternoon, Mr. Taylor. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Taylor, you've been charged in case 22 CR 000712C with criminal trespass and obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
7 total. Last arrest was 2019 FTA simple battery. 2019 simple assault family violence conviction. 2019 simple battery conviction. 2017 failure to appear for misdemeanor possession of marijuana, not prosecuted. 2015 marijuana, he got PTI. 2014 marijuana dismissed.
Okay, Ms. Arnold.
Yes, Your Honor. So this incident happened yesterday at the Marriott Marquis Hotel. The defendant was asked to leave by hotel security, 1, because he was not a guest, and 2, because he went behind a bar and began tampering with the credit card processing machine. The defendant also took alcoholic beverages from the bar. Hotel staff were able to find the defendant trying to gain access to the spa center. And again, they asked him to leave, but he refused. Your Honor, we do believe that the defendant will reoffend based on his history, as pretrial has just read. We also believe he is a flight risk based on the fact that he has the 2017 failure to appear and the 2019 failure to appear. Your Honor, we are asking that the bond remain. The bond is currently set at a $1,000 surety for count 1 for the criminal trespass and a $2,000 surety for count 2 for obstruction of a law enforcement officer, which would make a total of a $2,000 surety bond. We are also asking for a stay away from 265 Peachtree Center Avenue in Atlanta, which is the Marriott Marquis Hotel, and that there be no drugs, alcohol, or weapons.
Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Taylor is 25 years old, and we do not oppose stay away or no further contact with complaining witness Mike Nedin, manager of Marriott Hotel. We are not opposing to that. He has been here more than almost all his life, 25 years. So I don't think that he's a flight risk. He has a good family here. He has a girlfriend here. He has a job. Right now, temporarily, he's out of job, but he used to have a job here in Georgia. And he doesn't have any education from ever since 14 years old. So he cannot afford too high bonds at this point. And so we would like to request for signature bond, since the previous charges were all not related to criminal trespass. And this is relatively first offense in terms of criminal trespass. So we would like to request for signature bond, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, so it's going to be $1,000 signature bond through the jail on each count, making for a total of a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from Marriott Marquis, 265 Peachtree Center. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Taylor.
Yes, sir. Could I ask one question?
Mr. Taylor, unless this is related to the bond, I would like to advise you not to speak because it will be used against you.
I know, but we're all speaking together right now. Or is that not being used against us? Because I mean, I haven't done any, like, I really didn't mean for any of that to happen last night. In my
You
mind,
could call me if you have any questions. I can explain.
I can't call anyone. They won't let me. But
I'll call to the jail.
Okay, Ms. Kim will speak to you, Mr. Taylor. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Next is position 19, Torrance.
Good afternoon, Mr. Torrance. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 0000714Y with battery and criminal trespass and damage to property. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Just third arrest. Last was back in October, probation violation. Underlying charge was marijuana possession out of Clayton County. October 2020, felony theft by receiving, possession of a knife or a firearm during a commission, possession of a Schedule 1 controlled substance, sale of marijuana. He's on probation for marijuana and the theft by receiving.
Ms. Arnold?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident happened yesterday at 2412 Stone Road, apartment 12 in East Point. Ms. Tori Springs, Tori spelled Tori, Springs spelled traditionally, advised that she and her boyfriend, the defendant, were in an argument. So she went to her bedroom to avoid confrontation. When she came out to go to the restroom, the defendant walked up on her and began punching her. After he was done punching her, the defendant started to hit the wall with the hammer. The defendant also broke Ms. Springs' television with the hammer, and then her restroom mirrors by throwing the hammer at those mirrors. Officers made note that Ms. Springs had fresh bruising on her face and hands and visible scratch marks. Your Honor, we do believe that the defendant will reoffend based on his history out of Clayton. And then he also had a probation violation in October of last year. Your Honor, for these reasons, we are asking that the bond be set at a $4,000 surety for count 1 for the battery and a $2,000 surety for count 2 for the criminal trespass and damage to property for a total of a $6,000 surety. We're asking that there be no further contact with Tori Springs. Stay away from the 2412 Stone Road, apartment 12 in East Point, 1-day anger awareness, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. And Your Honor, we did attempt to contact the victim, but we're not able to and left a message. However, I do see that she is here on the Zoom if you would like to address her. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Arnold. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Torrance is actually 18 years old. He's still going to high school, 12th grade, and he just became an adult. And this is first incident as an adult. And his girlfriend is here. She said she was not really scared of him in terms of violence. And we do not oppose no further contact. We do not oppose stay away either. He's willing to stay away from 2412, apartment number 12 Stone Street. And he is willing to, I also spoke with his mother. However, I could not speak any further other than say hi and name, because she only speaks Spanish. So, but according to his girlfriend, he is really good at sports, and he takes good care of his children as a mentor, his cousins and nephews. He is very good with them. So we would like to request a signature bond, because he's still going to school as a 12th grade. And even though he works at DHL, it's a seasonal job that started from like November, so it may end very soon. And he has to finish his high school as well. So we would like to request for a signature bond, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Kim. I see Ms. Springs there. Ms. Springs, you're not required to speak. If you do want to say something or address the court, I'll need for you to raise your right hand, and I'll have to swear you in.
I don't think that she is willing to speak. So.
Okay, well, that's fine. It's going to.
Are you?
Ms. Springs, do you want to address the court? All right, it's going to be a $5,000 signature bond through the jail. No further contact with Torrey Springs. Stay away from the 2412 Stone Road, number 12 address. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. And stay in school requirement.
Thank you, Your Honor.
It's $4,000 for the battery and $1,000 for the criminal trespass.
That's a good one.
It's a signature bond through the jail.
Thank you.
All right. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Kelly, Taylor, Powell.
Thank you.
Next, we have position 15, Sims.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sims. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Sims. You've been charged in case 22 CR 000710C with public drunk and criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
17 total. Last arrest was 2019. Failed to appear. 2 counts of terrorist threats. Failed to appear. Possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. 2018 probation violation. 2018 terrorist threats conviction. 2015 failed to appear for hit and run and driving while license suspended. 2015 probation violation. 2014 terrorist threats conviction. 2013 driving without a valid license, suspended license, arrest. 2012 suspended license, DUI arrest. 2011 marijuana possession conviction. Forgery in the first degree, 2 counts conviction from 07.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Howard. Ms. Arnold?
Yes, Your Honor, this incident happened on February 12th, 2022 at 3622 Royal Street Parkway in Atlanta. The defendant refused to exit the MARTA bus after shouting vulgar language at the bus driver. When officers arrived, they noted that the defendant was highly intoxicated and unable to stand on his own without staggering. When asked to step off of the bus, the defendant started throwing his items around and shouting racial slurs at the other patrons. When the officer ran a suspension check, it was determined that the defendant had an active 60-day suspension and that he was not to resume riding until February the 18th of this year. Your Honor, we do believe the defendant will reoffend, one, because he has already violated the active suspension that he had from MARTA in this incident here. He also has convictions that we have heard from pretrial, including a 2014 terroristic threats and acts conviction, as well as a 2018 terroristic threats and acts conviction. He also has probation violations from 2006, 2015, and 2018. And we do believe that the defendant is a flight risk based on the failure to appears that he has from 2015 and 2019. So Your Honor, we are asking that the bond would remain. Right now, the bond is set as a $2,500 surety bond for count 1 for public drunkenness and a $2,500 surety bond for count 2 for the criminal trespass, for a total of a $5,000 surety bond. We're also asking for a stay away from 3622 Royal Street Parkway in Atlanta and all MARTA, as well as no drugs, alcohol, or weapons.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Sims, he is 43 years old, and he has 2 reasons that he has to get signature bond today. Number 1, health issue. He has a high blood pressure, so he needs medical attention. And at this point, he was not really getting medical attention very well at the jail. And he also he's studying to work. He has an interview. He already had an interview and he wants to start his career at warehouse, Cisco. Actually, he also has a schedule to get drug screening on February 16. He does not want to lose his job because he was a dishwasher at Cheesecake Factory for a long time, but this new one can be a career advancing, and also it can make a lot more money for his daughter, who is 9 years old, that he has to support. And he has been here in Georgia almost all life. He's been here for 38 years, and community services he has done is a lot. He picks up the trashes, and he also ministered to young men through the AA. So he also has gotten certification from Chattahoochee Technology at Marietta. So we would like to request signature bond since he does not have much savings at this point. Thank you, Your Honor. And also all those charges, even though there are a lot, none of them is related to public drink or criminal trespass. Thank you, Your Honor.
Well, Ms. Kim, he's going to have to find another way to get to work because he's not supposed to be on MARTA. And so he's, so I'm going to give him a signature bond, $1,000 signature bond through the jail on each count. So a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. You're to stay away from MARTA, Mr. Sims. You cannot go back to MARTA. If you're found on MARTA, then this bond is going to be revoked. And you can't have any drugs, alcohol, or weapons either. Ms. Kim tells me that you're either in AA or you counsel people in AA, so no drinking. If you're drinking while out on bond and it comes to the court's attention, then that's going to revoke this bond also. You understand, Mr. Sims?
Yes, sir. Your Honor, I would also like to add that I was unaware of the suspension. That's why.
Mr. Sims,
so
is it related to the bond?
He just said that he was unaware. So you're aware of it now, Mr. Sims.
Yes, but there also is an expiration date. I haven't been barred from MARTA, but there is a suspension beginning on the 19th. They're going to give me an opportunity to ride.
I would like to advise you not to speak, Mr. Sims, about the facts, because anything you say can be used against you.
I'm going to make Ms. Kim. I understand that you're advising him. He was just saying that about the MARTA suspension, and I just want to make it clear to him that regardless of whether there's a MARTA suspension, because of these allegations, you're not to be on MARTA at this time, suspension for MARTA or not. Okay, as a condition of this bond, you're to find another way to get around. It's not MARTA. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Sims.
Thank you.
Who do we have next?
Position 16, Tarver.
Good afternoon, Mr. Tarver. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Tarver, you've been charged in case 22 CR 000711E with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
61. Last arrest was in July. Criminal damage to property out of the cab. Open case in Fulton for criminal damage to property, second degree, criminal trespass. It's 19 SC 172732. Another open criminal damage to property, 20 CP 191123. He got open shopliftings, a couple of those, well, 3 of those actually. Littering and disorderly conduct. Unlawful entry into murder, simple assault as well. That's out of state court. Open case in the cab for criminal damage to property, second degree, disorderly conduct, public indecency, criminal trespass. That's enough, right?
That is, thank you. Ms. Arnold?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident happened on February 12th, 2022 at the Atlanta Medical Center. Officers were informed that the defendant was asked to leave the property. When officers arrived and tried to speak with the defendant and advised him to just go ahead and leave, the defendant responded that he wanted to go to jail. Security then advised officers at that time that the defendant had received a written trespass warning on October 21st, 2020, and was no longer allowed to be on the property unless he was being evaluated. At that point, the defendant was arrested. Your Honor, we do believe the defendant will reoffend based on his criminal history. As pretrial has already stated, he has 61 cycles. From what I could tell, he has 6 probation violations and 12 arrests for criminal trespass within the past 10 years. He also has a 2019 conviction for criminal trespass, for which he pled nolo. And again, in 2019, a criminal trespass and public indecency conviction. We do believe, Your Honor, that he is also a flight risk due to the fact that he has 7 FTAs from 2012 to 2017, and then he has a failure to appear from 2020 as well as 2021. And again, Your Honor, as far as him reoffending, we do just want to point out as well that pretrial has already mentioned that he has open cases. So we are concerned. The bond is currently set at a $1,000 surety bond. We are asking that the bond remain and that there be a stay away from the Atlanta Medical Center located at 340 Boulevard Northeast in Atlanta. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Arnold. Kim?
Yes, Mr. Tarver is 41 years old and he does not oppose to Atlanta, stay away from Atlanta Medical Center. However, he is disabled and he gets disability checks from for SSI. His education level was 11th grade, and right now he has no other way to pay for. Indeed, the main reason that he wanted to be arrested is because he needs housing help. So I was recommending him to a social service worker. So he needs some help. That's it, Your Honor. We would like to request low surety bond that is less than $200, Your Honor.
All right, it's going to be a $500 good bond. Stay away from Atlanta Medical Center. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. And Ms. Kim, if you'll have a social worker go see him, I'll see him back at the state all-purpose calendar if he doesn't get out on May 1st to reevaluate.
You mean March 1st, Your Honor?
Right, March 1st. Thank you.
Your Honor.
Good luck to you, Mr. Tarver.
Okay.
Next, we have position 21, Walker.
Good afternoon, Mr. Walker. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Walker, you've been charged in case 22 CR 000719G with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Yes, hold on. You said Walker?
Position 21, yes, Walker.
Yes, I do. This is 9th arrest. Last arrest was back in January, driving without a valid license. Here's an open case in state court. Battery and cruelty to children. 2014 probation violation, shoplifting. 2010 probation violation. 2009 probation violation. 2009 theft by taking pled nolo. And an 07 burglary arrest. That's it.
All right, thank you, Ms. Arnold.
Your Honor, this incident happened on February 13th, 2022 at 320 Fairburn Road in Atlanta. Ms. Tasha Martin advised that she was in a dispute with her boyfriend, the defendant, where he started to destroy her apartment with a hammer, including her front window. Ms. Martin advised that the dispute had actually started the previous day because her daughter's father was released from prison and came to visit them, which made the defendant angry. She mentioned that the defendant walked outside and discharged a firearm into the air and then came back in and proceeded to strike her in the face. Her daughters witnessed it and were able to break up the fight. Officers were not able to locate a weapon from that incident, however, Your Honor. We do believe that the defendant will reoffend based on his history. As pretrial has mentioned, he already has an open case for battery, family violence, and cruelty to children. That is a different victim, though. That victim is Ebony Ware. In addition, we do believe that the defendant will reoffend as he has a probation violation from 2009, 2010, and 2014. And I also have him as having been arrested for battery and substantial physical harm in 2019. For these reasons, Your Honor, we are requesting a $5,000 surety bond for the simple battery family violence. We're asking that there be a stay away from 320 Fairburn Road in Atlanta, that there be no further contact with Tasha Martin. Tasha and Martin are both spelled traditionally, a one-day anger awareness, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Arnold. Mr. Olaloye.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, Mr. Walker is 30 years old. He has one kid. That child does live with his mom. However, Mr. Walker is, excuse me, active in his child's life. He recently just started a job at Nitro Chemical Plant, Your Honor. He actually is still on work probation. So, Your Honor, we would be asking in regards to that we would be asking if he does qualify for a signature bond. I do not believe that Mr. Walker would be able to pay essentially a high bond, given that he just recently started a new job. Your Honor, I do understand that he does have some prior. However, the only, I believe, violent history is not a conviction. It's just a charge for now, Your Honor. So I would ask that you take that into consideration. Although he was charged, it's not a conviction. He is raised in Georgia. I do not believe there is an issue of Mr. Walker fleeing. I do believe that he will appear at all his court appearances. It's just my understanding that this was an argument between Mr. Walker and Ms. Martin. Mr. Walker's had a family member who just recently passed, I believe 2 days ago. So Mr. Walker has been going through some mental difficulties. He has been down. And again, I believe just from talking to him, this is a situation where he was essentially trying to get in contact with his girlfriend, given that he needed some support, and an argument ensued, Your Honor. I do maintain, and Mr. Walker does maintain his innocence, Your Honor. We would submit on a no violent contact or no contact, Your Honor. We would ask the court to make it a no violent contact, but we will be fine if the court's not inclined to do that. We would ask that Mr. Walker be allowed to go back to the place if the court does not, the court's not inclined to grant that. Again, we would just be asking for a one-time escort so Mr. Walker could retrieve any of his belongings. But I think more importantly, Your Honor, we would be asking for a signature bond. Again, just to reiterate, Mr. Walker just started a new job. Your Honor, he's still, I do not believe he would be able to pay any sort of bond if the court is not inclined, or if Mr. Walker is not qualified for a signature bond. We would ask for a very low surety bond to ensure that Mr. Walker is able to pay, Your Honor. So that would be our request. Thank you.
Your client has his hand up. Would you like to advise him?
Yeah, Mr. Walker, unless what you're about to say is solely in regard to the bond, I just want to let you know that whatever you say would be used against you. So if it's anything pertaining to what happened on that day, I would advise you not to speak and just wait till we speak before you say anything. However, if you still wish to address the judge and address the court, again, I just want you to be aware that whatever you say could be used against you. So I would advise you not to talk about the facts pertaining to this case, only if you believe that it'll help you for your bond.
Your Honor, I know being inside this jail. I really don't have no record. I have a cousin, don't use my name. They got his picture. I don't even have a wristband because they got a wristband with somebody else's picture using my same name. I don't have no record. I never broke in nobody's house. Yes, I had a case with everywhere.
Mr. Walker, again, I don't want you to say anything in regards to the facts of this case. So whatever that you might say that you believe pertains to the facts of the case, I'd advise you not to say anything, because again, whatever you do say,
it's not with this case, sir. It's not with this case. It's just,
Mr. Walker, if it has to do with, I think I understand what you're saying is that possibly what pretrial told me is not accurate, then your lawyer is going to have the opportunity to address that at a later date. Okay. All right. So, Mr. Walker, it's going to be a $2,000 good bond. No further contact with Tasha Martin. Stay away from 320 Fairburn Road. He can go back to that location on one occasion with an police or law enforcement escort to retrieve any belongings that he may have there. No drugs, no alcohol or weapons while out on bond. All right. Good luck, Mr. Walker.
one more question, Judge. I would like to see approved for a signature bond, because as I've been here, I ain't had no time to contact nobody. You know what I'm saying? To even tell
you'll be able to work with your lawyer as far as contacting someone. At this point in time, it's not a signature bond, but it's a $2,000 surety bond, Mr. Walker. All right. Good luck to you, sir.
Next, we have position 18, Thomas.
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to interrupt, but I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it too late for, I guess, for me to give the statement or something? I know I spoke with the.
He is he has who you're here for. I remember was given a signature bond. He's to stay away from you also, though. He will have another court hearing at a later date. So if you want to speak at that time, anything that you have to say will be taken up at that time, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, you have a good day.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, who do we have courtroom 2?
This is position 18, Thomas.
Good afternoon, Mr. Thomas. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Yeah, you're on mute, courtroom 2.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Thomas, you've been charged in case 22 CR 0000713Y with terroristic threats. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
8 total. Last arrest was on the 12th of this month. He went to the city jail for suspended registration. March 2021, probation violation, false report of a crime conviction. 2020, parole violation. 2020, criminal damage to property, second degree arrest. 2019, burglary, first degree, that was dismissed. He got first offender for ag assault, armed robbery, where it was reduced to robbery. Possession of a knife or a firearm during the commission. He's on probation for that in Gwinnett. What else? Got a 2015 suspended license, no low. And so he got the probation out of Gwinnett and the open case in Fulton, 20 CP 195703. That's it.
Thank you. Ms. Arnold?
Yes, Your Honor, this incident happened on September 30th, 2021 at 1117 Perimeter Circle, Suite E210 in Sandy Springs. Miss Taminica Williams, Taminica spelled Taminica, Williams spelled traditionally, advised that a former employee, the defendant, had sent numerous text messages threatening her. The messages started on September 29th, after the defendant was terminated from Millhouse Security Services. The defendant texted Ms. Williams, "B, you better believe I'ma hurt you," as well as, "You the one who gotta come outside from work. I'ma hurt you and your grandkids, follow you from work. I see that little sedan you drive. I've been watching y'all. Yep, show this to the police. I don't care, I know people. I got something for y'all that holds 31. I pray your kids don't wake up from their sleep just like I'm finna not wake up from yours." Your Honor, officers were able to check the number that the text messages were sent from and confirm that that number did belong to the defendant. Ms. Williams also told officers at that time that she was afraid for her safety and her grandchildren. We were able to speak with Ms. Williams, and she does not want any contact with the defendant. And she said that she has not had any contact from him since the September incident. She is here on Zoom, but she did advise that she did not want to speak. Your Honor, we are concerned that the defendant will reoffend based on the history, and as you have already heard from pretrial. I'm sorry, Your Honor. So we are requesting a $5,000 surety bond for the terroristic threats, and that there be no further contact with Taminica Williams or anyone in her family. We're asking for a stay away from the 1117 Perimeter Circle, Suite E210 in Sandy Springs, one-day anger awareness, and that there be no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Yes. Mr. Thomas is 27 years old right now, and he has been here in Georgia for the last 27 years. And he has his parents and siblings here in Georgia. He's not a flight risk, and he has a ties to the community because he is searching for a job. He got a job at Tucker, Georgia. He's been working there for about a month. He does not want to lose that job. And again, ever since September 29, 2021, nothing has happened. No contact. We do not oppose. Stay away from the incident location and Williams, Taminica, and her family. We do not object to no further contact. No drug, alcohol, weapon is okay. And we also do not consent to one day anger awareness class as well. And he has been working hard. He graduated from high school. He is going to college to get business administration bachelor's degree. And we would like to request for signature bond on this. Thank you, Your Honor. If signature bond is not grantable, we would like to request for $200 surety bond. Thank you.
All right, it's going to be a $5,000 signature bond through the jail. No further contact with Ms. Williams. Stay away from the perimeter circle address. No drugs, no alcohol or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Thomas.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Judge.
Position 24, Mr. Williams.
Good afternoon, Mr. Williams. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Good afternoon, yes.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Williams. You've been charged in case 22 CR 000716B with battery family violence. Is there a history?
It's Trevis or David Williams?
24 Travis Williams.
Trevis. All right, first arrest.
Ms. Arnold?
Your Honor, this incident happened on June 30th, 2021 at 4044 Runnymede Lane, apartment H in East Point. Runnymede is spelled Runnymede. Ms. Shana Williams, spelled Shana, Williams traditionally, advised that she and her brother, the defendant, were fighting over a bottle of Hennessy, when at some point the defendant punched her in the face, leaving her with a black eye and bruising to her right arm after she fell to the ground from being punched. Your Honor, based on the facts of this case, although this is the defendant's first arrest, we are requesting a $3,500 surety bond. We're asking that there be no further contact with Shana Williams, one-day anger awareness, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Your Honor, we're not asking for a stay away, as it appears this incident occurred at the defendant's home and the victim lives elsewhere. We were able to speak with Ms. Williams, and she did advise that they are siblings and that they do not live together. She has not had any contact with the defendant since the incident. And she did state that she did not want to press charges, Your Honor, but she did believe that the defendant needs anger management, and she was not able to attend Zoom today. Your Honor, although we do respect our victim's wishes, we are still asking for no further contact, as we are concerned for her safety. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Arnold. Mr. Olaloye?
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, Mr. Williams is 33 years old. He does have one child. That child does reside in New York. Mr. Williams is active in that child's life. Mr. Williams actually was about to start, or was supposed to start his job today at the MARTA as a bus operator, Your Honor. So that would go into us asking for a signature bond, Your Honor. As you heard, this is an incident that happened between Mr. Williams and his sister. From my understanding, this was a situation where the victim, Ms. Williams, was upset that my client would not give her a bottle of Hennessy. I believe it was at that point she then became aggressive, and that's where she acted in an aggressive manner towards Mr. Williams. Mr. Williams does maintain his innocence. Again, Your Honor, I do not believe this is a situation where a no contact is required. Although I do understand they've not spoken. This incident did happen on June 30th of last year. To my knowledge, there's not been any incident subsequent from this day, Your Honor. So I do not believe that a no contact order is necessary. They are siblings, although they've not spoken. Again, we have no information to suggest that he has had any violent contact with her since the incident. We would be fine if the court does issue a no violent contact. Again, this is his first arrest. He has no history of any violent history. He has no history at all, Your Honor. So we will be asking for a low signature bond. And I do believe you already said that he would be allowed to go back to his residence, given he does live there and Ms. Williams does not. So the only thing we will really be asking for is a signature bond. And if the court allows, just to impose a no violent contact as opposed to a no contact. Thank you.
$3,000 signature bond for pretrial one-day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Ms. Williams, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Williams.
Your Honor, that concludes my matters. May I be excused?
Yes, have a good afternoon.
Have a good day, everyone. Bye-bye.
Judge, I just have a couple of announcements to make.
Okay, thank you.
Position 6 is quarantine.
Okay, 6 will be reset until tomorrow.
Position 23 is also quarantine.
3 reset until tomorrow.
Position 22 is going to be a reset.
Reset until tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay.
And also position 4 is going to be a reset.
Until tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay. And does that take care of everyone?
Yes.
Right. Very good. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
All right, thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Your Honor.
What happened to Hardeman?
What position was that?
He was on the pull sheet. Bon Jovi Hardeman.
I think he was transferred to felony court.
Okay, cool.
All right, so I have Ms. Bridgewater in court with me today, so when she's ready, we'll go over the calendar. Thank you, Courtroom 2.
All right, thank you.
Good afternoon. The reset date for the SAP calendar will be March the 1st. Okay, position number 1 is being reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 2 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 3 is reset further notice with a $1,000 SOB through the jail. Position 4 is being reset till tomorrow. Position 5 is reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through the jail. Position 6 is being reset till tomorrow. Position 7 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. Position 8 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 9 is reset further notice, further notice with a $1,000 total SOB through the jail. Position 10 is reset further notice with a $3,000 total SOB through pretrial. Position 11 is reset further notice with a $2,000 total SOB through the jail. Position 12 is reset to the SAP calendar with a $1,265 good bond. Position 13, I'll come back to that one.
That's a $2,000 good bond, 500 for the first 2 counts and 1,000 for the DUI.
Gotcha. Thank you, Judge.
Okay.
Position 14 is reset further notice with a $4,000 total SOB through pretrial. Position 15 is reset further notice with a $2,000 total SOB through the jail. Position 16 is reset to the SAP calendar with a $500 good bond. Position 17 is reset further notice with a $2,000 total SOB through the jail. Position 18 is reset further notice with a $5,000 SOB through the jail. Position 19 is reset further notice with a $5,000 total SOB through the jail. Position 20 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 21 is reset to the SAP calendar with a $2,000 good bond. Position 22 is being reset till tomorrow. Position 23 is being reset till tomorrow. And position 24 is reset further notice with the $3,000 SOB through the jail, is it?
Pretrial.
Pretrial, through pretrial. Are there any questions, comments, or otherwise? If not, happy Valentine's Day to everyone.
All right.
Happy Valentine's.
Happy Valentine's Day.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Be safe.